Hey everyone, welcome to Kicking with Kipes. I'm Kipes, and today we only had 2 games left on the NHL schedule until the 2 week break for the Four Nations face-off. So join me as I cover everything that happened in the game, from the goals to the main events that happen in each game every night. So let's hop right into it and head on into the international break. The early game for today was the Utah Hockey Club in Washington taking on the Capitals, where I called that the Washington Capitals were going to win by 3 goals or more, and they lost in a shootout 5-4. Karel Vejmelka for the Utah Hockey Club, the goaltender, he made 30 saves in relief en route to this win for Utah. Connor Ingram, he did start this game for Utah, but had to leave the game due to an injury. So Vejmelka, he played last night for Utah and came in and was probably extremely tired still from last night and put in a very good effort for this team. Vejmelka, he did not let a single shot in the shootout period. He entered the game at about just over 12 minutes into the first period after Ingram sustained that upper body injury like I just mentioned. It was from a slap shot from Alex Ovechkin as he's trying to edge his way closer to Wayne Gretzky's record. So it came with a price, and Ovechkin, he did not get a goal in this game. Let's just cover that quickly. But he allowed Ingram, he allowed 2 goals on 11 shots prior to the injury, so he wasn't having a very good game up until that point either. So that was just like the icing on the cake to take him out of the game. For the Utah Hockey Club, the Utahns, Jack McBain, Dylan Genther, and Josh Doan, son of Shane Doan, NHL great, they each had a goal and an assist in this game, leading the way for the Utahns to the victory. Utah, they are now over 500 technically on the schedule. They are 24, 23, and 9. They have been playing better hockey as of late, but this seems to be the case for most Utah things, or Arizona. They come in waves. They're very good for a couple games, and then they're very bad for a couple games, and then they just play a couple good games in a row again. But it's very inconsistent from this Utah team. Vejmelka, he was in net, like I mentioned earlier. He lost 7-3 to the Carolina Hurricanes yesterday, and it was just a slobber knocker of a decimation of Utah, and they came back and they played the second best team in the NHL and won. For Washington, their point streak extends to 6 games in a row heading on into the international break. Tom Wilson, he scored twice in this game. His second goal of the game came with a minute and a half left in the third period with the goalie pulled, so he came in clutch for his team, but he will not be representing Canada. There was some speculation that he might be on that Four Nations face-off team, but he will not. The Washington Capitals, they are second in the NHL, just below the Winnipeg Jets in the standings, and I would be very interested to see if this will continue in the second half of the season, and what a fun little finals that would be for the NHL. Team that has won semi recently in 2018, I think it was, the Washington Capitals, and a team like the Winnipeg Jets who just need to get over the hump and win a cup. Logan Thompson, he was in net for the Washington Capitals today, a player that should, and it's dumbfounding that he is not on Team Canada with how good of a season that he is having so far for the Capitals. He made 23 saves in the losing effort today. Ovechkin, he did not get a goal, but he did get 3 assists in this game, trying to help his team by example en route to the loss, but at the same time they did squeak out a point in this game, and it was from an Ovechkin shot. The Capitals, they almost won it in overtime, but Karel Vejmelka, he made a sprawling left, he stretched out his left pad and made a beautiful save on Jacob Chikrin in with about 10 seconds left in the overtime period. So the Utah Hockey Club, they bounced back from an embarrassing loss last night and beat the second best team in the league, Washington Capitals, 5-4 in a shootout. Our second and last game of the day is the Tampa Bay Lightning in Montreal. The Montreal Canadiens, they got spanked at home last night, and they lose again at home to the Tampa Bay Lightning 5-3. Victor Hedman, he'll be representing Sweden as the captain of the Swedish team at the Four Nations face-off. He led his team by example in this game as well. His club team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, he had a goal and an assist in this game. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they have now won 4 in a row. They are starting to pick it up when it matters the most. They are now 3rd in the Atlantic Division. They just leapfrogged the Ottawa Senators in that position. Andrei Vasilevsky, he played in both games yesterday and today. That is extremely impressive and extremely tough for goalies to do because of how hard they have to work for all 60 minutes of a hockey game, but he made 32 saves in the win tonight. Just very impressive from the goaltender. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they are now 31, 20, and 4. They went into the they are going into this international break on a 5-0-1 run. So hopefully this break for most Atlantic rivals is coming at a perfect time, and it'll stop the heat that is coming from this Lightning team. Brendan Gallagher, forward for the Montreal Canadiens, he scored twice, trying to help his team get over this hump and this horrible stretch of games that they are on right now, but it was not good enough. The Habs, they are now 25, 26, and 5. They are now under that 500 mark, and technically worse than Utah. I felt like Utah was doing so much worse than the Montreal Canadiens, but I guess that's just recency bias. But at the same time, Montreal, they have fallen off a cliff, like I mentioned last night. Montreal, they have now lost 3 in a row and 1 win in their past 9 games. They are 1-7-1 in that span. That is absolutely pathetic. And I do not think that they will make the playoffs anymore unless they go in and win like 8 or 9 in a row, which I don't see happening at all. And it begs the question, will the Montreal Canadiens start becoming sellers? I've heard that Jake Evans is a guy from the Habs that is creating a lot of interest in the league, so we will see what happens at the trade deadline for the Habs. Jakub Dobeš, he's been a very good story for the Montreal Canadiens, but he has kind of slowed down that hot start that he had. He started this game for the Montreal Canadiens. He let 3 goals in on 8 shots. He got the yank, and in came Sam Montembeault. Montembeault, he got pulled last night, and Dobeš, he got pulled tonight. So head coach Martin St. Louis, he is just not having any patience with his goaltenders right now, getting very fed up very easily, and understandably why. Montembeault, he will probably be the 3rd goalie for Team Canada. He made 11 saves in relief for the Habs today. Lightning, they were without Nikita Kucherov, their star forward. He took pregame warmup, but he was opted out of this game due to an upper body injury. So as a Atlantic Division rival, I hope that he stays out, but as a human being, I hope he's okay and can return as soon as possible for his team. Brendan Gallagher, his 2nd goal of the game came about halfway through the 3rd period. It was a very nice wrist shot that beat Vasilevsky, but it did not take much longer because with about 16 seconds left in the game, Anthony Cirelli, he scored on the empty net to make it 5-3, that nail in the coffin goal. But at the same time, it was a disgusting play. There was Habs flying everywhere on the ice trying to prevent him from scoring. They did make a couple nice blocks, but Cirelli, he did get the better of them in this time. The Lightning, they are going to be heavily represented by Team Canada at the Four Nations Faceoff. John Cooper, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, he will be the head coach of Team Canada. Anthony Cirelli, Braden Point, and Brandon Hagel, forwards, the star forwards for the Tampa Bay Lightning, they will all be on Team Canada as well. So 4 major key factors of the Tampa Bay Lightning will be major players for the Canadiens. So it's going to be weird cheering for them, but it'll be fun at the same time. So the Tampa Bay Lightning, they take control of the Montreal Canadiens, and they win 5-3 in Montreal Sunday afternoon. All right, that is it for the first half of the NHL season and this video. We will be doing live streams for the Four Nations Face-Off. I'll try to do every game, but we will see what happens. But at the same time, come back tomorrow. I'll be doing a room tour of Kipes Corner, Kipes Cave, and I'll put out a vote of what it should be called. But at the same time, thank you so much for being here. It means the absolute world to me that people are watching these videos and continue to grow this community. So we will see you tomorrow for Mix It Up Mondays, and then we will see you Wednesday for the first game of the Four Nations Face-Off. Can't wait to watch this international tournament. So we will see you there. Have a great day. Take care, and go Eagles in the Super Bowl. Chiefs, they have to be dethroned.